because nobody anywhere should ever have to be afraid before coming out to their parents. Activism needs to happen. That's some good equality. Hello and welcome back to Mad AsexualiTea Party. I am your host, the mysterious masked Lisse Moon, and I have a new hoodie. I bought it online. It is an anti-flag hoodie. You know, the band Anti-Flag? Yeah, my SVU hoodie's dirty. This week, Patrick picked the theme, and it's activism. I do a lot of activism, actually. I used to do more, because now I'm busy with grad school, but I do activism. I tend to do a lot more on the asexual side than the homo side in terms of the visibility work I do, because my activism, like I just said, visibility instead of activism, because when I do activism, it's asexual visibility. And that's partly because the homosexual community seems to have a pretty good handle on activism without me. And also sometimes I've tried to network or, support same-sex marriage, and I get told, get the fuck out, you're not a real lesbian, you're asexual. So the unfortunate fact is a lot of asexuals try to join in with activism and the rest of the queer community, particularly those of us who are homo-romantic and want to go to pride parades and that sort of thing, or really any of us who aren't hetero-romantic. And unfortunately, other queer groups tend to greet asexuality with anger and bile and sometimes hatred. And we get accused of trying to identity police everyone and redefine everyone's sexuality when we talk about how we figured out that we can fall in love without being sexually attracted to our partners, and that some of us are demisexual and only experience sexual attraction to someone after they are already seriously, deeply in love. Not the same as wanting to bang right away and waiting. Not the same thing. And another big complaint I've heard is that asexuals, I can't even, the existence of asexuality is a threat to queer youth who aren't asexual, because they would want to come out as ace in order to avoid the stigma of being gay or being bi. So why do I do asexual visibility? Because clearly, if what I just said is any indication, there's still a lot of misconceptions about asexuality out there. It seems like a good amount of people know it exists, but don't have much of a comprehension of it. And as I started saying when I first got into asexual visibility, that very few people do know it exists. And a lot of people, when confronted with one person coming out as asexual who don't know asexuality exists, tend to say things like, you're just mentally ill, you're autistic, you haven't met the right person yet, you just haven't. I could go on for ages. So asexuality is met with a lot of ignorance. I need asexual visibility because I'm sick of going to pride parades and being told that I need sex therapy. I need asexual visibility because I'm sick of people hearing about how my first girlfriend wasn't ace and them asking me how could she stand it. How could she stand being with me? I need asexual visibility because one of the things contributing to my crushing depression in high school, in addition to my serotonin levels, was the fact that I knew I wasn't wired for sexual attraction. And I thought that meant something was seriously, deeply wrong with me that made me a terrible person, not quite human, etc., etc. I need asexual visibility because being asexual is not as easy as a lot of people think. I'm not trying to say that we have it worse than any other queer group I'm not. I'm just saying that there are things I've gone through because I'm asexual and because people don't know about or understand asexuality that I would not want anyone else to ever have to go through. So I actually had a web series for a while that was an informational series on asexuality, and it was also kind of personal. I started a club at my undergrad school for asexuals and allies, and I have asexual pride gear. I have a couple pins on my laptop case, and I have a t-shirt, and I have a pair of pants that I decorated with asexual symbols. And I feel like asexual visibility is different than a lot of activism because at this point we're just kind of at a different place than a lot of the other queer groups. Homosexuals have same-sex marriage, which clearly, since I am also a lesbian, I am very much in support of. And bisexuals are still facing a lot of erasure and biphobia. People who are gender variant also are still getting that that doesn't exist. And so many issues with the DSM. I feel like pretty much every queer group is still doing the yes, we're actually human. We are not abominations because of who we're attracted to or our gender presentation. I couldn't get my voice any lower than that. So, most of my activism is asexual visibility stuff. And I just rambled about that for way too long. Sorry, guys. Thank you for watching A Cup of Equality.